So let's talk about semantics. The words in any emerging technology, the words are always in flux and the definitions are always in flux. One of the things that I think is interesting is the overlap between, or perceived overlap, potential overlap between the various areas that people already have initiatives for. They've been doing business intelligence for at least 20 years. They've been doing analytics probably for 15 years, 10 or 15 years. There have been some elements of decision support systems going all the way back, multiple decades, even prior to that, probably. Yep. And we have data science to some degree. Some companies got into data science 5 to 10 years ago, and now they're being told, now you have to be doing artificial intelligence. How do you think about all of those things, and do they overlap? Are they completely different? What's the relationship of those things to each other?
Yeah, for me, and this is quite a common thought, I think, is that it's very much a continuum. And I think where we get friction in terms of the semantics is because in an organizational structure, you've got defined groups already who perhaps want to A, hold on to their current fiefdom, or B, they want to be doing the next new thing. They don't want to bring on a new group that's separate from them, that actually gets to play with the new shiny toy. They want to do it. And you see this all the time in organizations with their analytics teams, because the analytics teams want to be doing AI. And indeed, they might say, we're already doing data science. You don't need a data science team. And where you get friction is that may or may not be true. Maybe they're doing some, but it's at quite a low level and they don't really have the expertise to be doing it full blown. And always my suggestion and recommendation to executive teams is build out those teams, build out the skill sets of those teams. Don't go and create a separate data science team. If you've got an analytics group, build them into the group, upskill those analytics people with that knowledge and grow the whole team, because there's so much commonality between each of those groups, like their operating models, like their management structures, their governance structures that can all be overlapped. And then what you get is one continuum that has a number of different tools and specialities within it. And so the sum becomes greater than the total becomes greater than the sum of its parts, which I think is a win for everybody. Removes that friction, and then the semantics questions can just go out the window because it really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
So then they become disciplines as opposed to departments. So you could have one large department that can do a variety of things, whether it's reporting or business intelligence or basic analytics or basic rules-based models, all the way up and do more complex data science and potentially into machine learning and AI.
Exactly. And I think the key when you start building out like that is you want to have some kind of constraint around it. So I think the constraint for me, that where you say, is this group a delineated group or do you need a separate one? It's really around the tools that they use, the platforms, but also their objectives. So the objective for AI is to answer business questions. The objective for analytics is to answer business questions. Data science, answer business questions. BI, answer business questions. So for me, that's where they all fit in the same realm, because they're all essentially answering the same questions, or they have the same objective, which is to answer business questions. They're just different techniques to do it in a more progressively more sophisticated for different areas, but their objective is the same. And that's why I think they sit nicely together.